Dear Divine Family, welcome today at a special meeting of gratitude. It's a special day of awareness of something that shall be invited into our hearts every day. Gratitude is something very healing, and I am grateful for the divine love and light in my heart, which I am sending to everyone watching this right now. And we are grateful for all of you here today. So before I leave the space for Peter to talk, I'd like to mention that this session, as well as all Peter's videos on YouTube, are for free, and we are deeply grateful for all your donations that support this work. So I will leave it as that, and I will hand it over to Peter. Thank you so much, Peter.
Yeah, thank you, Dharma, for the introduction and for being co-host today and helping me with this work. And I chose this time of it's called Thanksgiving, because we can always give thanks. The masters say that gratitude is the doorway into the heart of God. And in many societies, not just in America, this time of year, farmers gave gratitude for the harvest, usually a little bit earlier, more like in October, end of September, October, because when you live off the land, you don't live for another year unless you have a good harvest, and you pray that there's not a drought or that the locusts don't come and eat your crops and so on. So, you know, in the spring, they would give gratitude to the nature spirits, and they would work in cooperation with the nature spirits and honor them. And then in the fall, they would give gratitude again to the nature spirits and to their friends, and the whole community would get together and give thanks. So this is not just an American holiday, it's something that people around the world practice to give gratitude. And we have a lot to be grateful for, actually. And this is a time when we can go through those things and being grateful not just for all the good things, but there are other things that make us grow as well. So I would like to say I'm grateful to all of you because I feel your love, and it's that love that sustains me. I've been offered the chance to go on to a higher world a number of times, and I stay because I feel your love, and I feel the needs of humanity at this time. So it's gratifying to feel that staying here is not in vain. And so I keep asking ways that I can help and be of service. And I've been meditating on what we can really give thanks for. And I would like to say, first of all, I would like to give thanks to the great being known as Sanat Kumara. And we don't really know a lot about him. Many different channels give information, and I don't know how accurate those are, but I do know that he was a great being who came from the planet Venus. Now, it's not the physical planet, but the etheric planet. So keep in mind, we have an etheric Earth also, which is where Shambhala is, which is a place I think we're all headed. So there was a time on the earth when there was even more discord than now, if you can imagine that. And we can say that was at the end of Lemuria, but there have been many civilizations on the earth that ended in destruction, where a large part of humanity was destroyed and civilization went back to the Stone Age. And at the end of that last destruction of Lemuria, when humanity was going to, the souls were going to be returned to the universal source and would lose all individuality. It's kind of like drops of the ocean being thrown back into the ocean and merging with the ocean. And if that had happened, we would not be here now. And it's hard to imagine there was a time when we were not all saints and everything, but there was that time. And this being, Sanat Kumara, came forth and said, I will take responsibility for the soul, for the souls on earth, and I will guide them through evolution so they can regain human form once again and continue on the spiritual path. And this may have been a period of 1,000,000 years. That's a long time to volunteer to be like a parent for humanity. And at that time, humans did not even get human bodies to reincarnate into. They reincarnated into lower life forms like animal forms, perhaps even trees, and gradually back in human form. And there may have been hundreds of lifetimes as a farmer or just someone who didn't even maybe know about the spiritual path, until we redeemed ourselves and rebuilt our bodies, our etheric bodies, to the point where we could again have the power to know about God, the God presence within. So I would like to give gratitude to Sanat Kumara and to his brothers. There were supposedly 7 Kumaras who came from Venus. And he took up residence in what's now the Gobi Desert. Then it was the Gobi Ocean. It was like the Mediterranean, and there was an island there where he had his temple. And so we give thanks to Sanat Kumara for allowing us to redeem ourselves and to be again seeking mastery and ascension, so that we can, at the end of this lifetime, go to Shambhala, which would be like a paradise. And that's what people call the New Age. And that time is very close, I believe. Saint Germain told me many, many years ago that a situation would arrive on Earth that would require intervention by the Ascended Masters and by our extraterrestrial brothers and sisters that would allow us to move into this higher octave of energy. So we are, in a sense, in a great classroom right now, learning our final lessons. And that is something else to be grateful for. And some of these final lessons are painful. But again, it's all something for which we want to feel gratitude. I know we'd all like to think, I remember a few years ago, it seems I would wake up in the morning and see the sun shining, and I would jump out of bed and say, yes, another day, it's great to be alive, you know? And now I've noticed over the last year, I wake up and saying, is it really a good day? I feel a lot of suffering. Well, that suffering is because there are many people on the planet who basically are in solitary confinement in their homes and apartments. They're only allowed to leave for an hour a day to go to the store and buy food, and they feel cut off and alone. And we feel their frustration, their sadness. And I talk to people every day around the world who feel that loneliness and sadness and wonder what the purpose of their life is. But I would like to share a very simple method for transmuting that. And to do this, you really have to realize that you are a very powerful spiritual being and you're not here by accident. You chose to be here at this time, knowing that this was going to be happening. And you are not just an isolated three-dimensional being in your room. You are a multi-dimensional being. You have many higher bodies. And even now, although we are meeting separately in front of computer screens around the world in the 3D body, we are also meeting in an etheric temple in our higher bodies. That's why we can all feel the love from each other as a group, because we're really actually all together. So what we're all feeling, in addition to that love from each other, we feel the suffering of humanity. And one way to deal with that is to call for your tube of light, which comes from your I am presence. Now, I have a great piece of artwork by Amareya, which shows your I am presence and a tube of light around you. And this tube of light is very real. Even before I knew about it, when I was a child, I used to do chemistry experiments in the basement. I wanted to be a scientist and build a spaceship so I could get off the Earth. This may be when, I was 10 years old. Sometimes these experiments blew up. My poor mother, she would hear an explosion and I would come upstairs, and she would pretend nothing had happened. But I know one of these experiments, something was in a glass container and it exploded. And I noticed I was completely untouched and there was a semicircle of broken glass around me, a perfect semicircle about 2 or 3 feet from my physical body. And I thought, that is the strangest thing, how that happened. And then a few months later, I was building a rocket and it blew up on the launching pad. This rocket was made of metal. And a piece of metal embedded itself in the tree to my right. Another piece of metal went into the bushes on the left. And then there were pieces of metal fragments 3 feet in front of me. And I thought, that is so strange that they stopped in front of me. And now I know that was my tube of light from the I am presence. The God presence knew what I was doing and brought that tube of light down and protected me. And we can, each of us, invoke that tube of light. Like, I am invincibly protected by my tube of light throughout this day. And charge that tube of light with a violet consuming flame. Now, I know my friends Simon and Karen down in Santa Barbara, they do work in the hospitals where they would teach people to go and visit people in the hospitals. And there's a lot of suffering there. And they need to be protected as well as the doctors and nurses from all that suffering. So one way is to call that tube of light around you when you know you have to go into a situation like that. And on the earth right now, we are certainly in a situation like that where there is a lot of suffering. But there is another way to deal with the suffering also. Rather than saying the suffering is out there and I'm protected in here, we can use that suffering as a means to expand our own love and compassion. And certainly one of the reasons we are on the earth now is to learn compassion. I think that's one of the reasons we came into human embodiment. We were God beings at one time with no needs, just in a state of bliss. And we chose to come into duality and limitation and separation to learn this. And boy, this is the time right now to learn it. So in Tibetan Buddhism, they call this practice Tonglen, which is receiving and sending. So what you can do is just be aware of your breathing, the in-breath and the out-breath. Now, you don't want to take on the suffering. That would not serve any purpose, then you would be suffering too. But you want to transmute it by sending out love. So it's as simple as just like imagine that this suffering is kind of a fog. There's a sort of a heaviness to it. And as you breathe in that heaviness, you exhale love and joy and light. So just imagine with every breath, you're exhaling light and joy and love. With the in-breath, you're aware of the heaviness, and then with the exhalation, there's light emanating from you. And that light is going out into the world, filling the earth, filling the minds, hearts, and worlds of all beings with love and joy. So at this moment, we are being a tremendous blessing to humanity. And this is a blessing for each of us because we can feel that love ourselves. What you're sending out to others is what you're receiving. What you send is what you receive. What you think about is what you are. So better to think love and joy. I am a transmitter of love and joy. And that is filling my heart, my body, my room, my home, my community, my country, entire earth. Let's just sit with that for a minute. Imagine you're in your etheric body made of light. And your heart is a great sun that is expanding. And rays of love and compassion are flooding forth from you into the world. The whole earth is becoming a sun. And you can say silently to yourself, I am a son of God, filling humanity with light and love and happiness. I am the violet consuming flame blazing forth throughout the earth, dissolving and consuming anything less than perfection. I am grateful to my older brothers and sisters who are now ascended, Jesus and Mary. That's Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene, Kuan Yin, El Moria, Kutumi, Paul the Venetian, El Serapis Bey, Hilarion, Jesus, and of course, Saint Germain, the Lord Maha Chohan, the great divine director, mighty victory, to all other ascended masters. And above all, I am grateful to my I am God presence, without which I could not take a breath and my heart would not beat. Thank you, beloved God presence, for keeping me in this body healthy, alive, functioning, so I may fulfill my mission on earth. And I can assure you, each of you have a divine mission. And if you don't know what that is, say, I am the resurrection and the life of my divine mission on earth, now made fully manifest. And that mission may manifest very humbly. It could be simply meditating. It doesn't have to be going out into the streets like Mother Teresa and taking care of the homeless, although it could be that too. Just being and transmuting the negative into positive is an amazing, fantastic mission. Just feel, I am love. You can see the gold light in your heart surrounded with a pink light. And that pink light is going out, enveloping the earth. I am the presence of Lady Master Nada, enveloping the earth in the pink mantle of divine love. I am filled with gratitude and thanksgiving. I could go on and on expressing gratitude, but I'm going to leave some of those wishes of gratitude to you. We can have questions and answers if you like, although I don't know if I have any answers, but it's always good to ask questions. Or if you simply like to express your gratitude, whatever it is you're grateful for. And Dharma, would you like to call on people?
Yeah.
Everyone is feeling so much love and gratitude.
Matt, he's not in the woods though today. You can unmute and speak, please.
Thank you, Dharma. No, not in the woods today. Yeah, so first I wanted to start by thanking Peter for all of these sessions that he puts on and all the work he does. I know some of the work he does can't be easy, but he does it, and he does it happily. So we really thank you for everything you do, Peter.
Thank you.
And I did have a question too. So you mentioned that the Lemurians would have gone back to this kind of ocean consciousness, maybe. But we also, I think, are told that each of us is a separate part of God, and ultimately we're all gonna kind of rejoin each other in a union with God. So what is the difference between these two states in your view?
Well, we are all like rays of light from the same sun, or central sun, if you want to call it that, or logos. But we have our individual differences also. Like that ray of light can shine through a slide or a stained glass window, many different windows, and produce different effects, but still the basic light is from the same sun. But this time in Lemuria, they were talking about that people had created such discord that they would just lose their individuality, and just that ray of light would go back into the sun with no separation. You can't really destroy the light, you know, it's just pure consciousness without any sense of individuality at all, you know. So I was, Saint Germain showed me, this is not just something channeled by someone. He showed me a time when human souls were in, you know, like dolphins and whales and, you know, beings in the ocean and birds and so on. And we gradually evolved out of that. It's not that the animal souls become human souls. That doesn't happen. They have their own evolution, but human souls have gone into animals. Even in this life in India, I saw a dog that had, in addition to the dog soul, there was a human soul that talked to me. And he said by going into the dog, he was able to clear what would have taken lifetimes as a human. So let us give gratitude that we have these human bodies and human consciousness now.
Indeed.
And I'd like to thank you, Matt, for your contribution. Matt has been helping me edit my next book. So thank you, Matt.
Steinar was next. You may unmute.
Yeah, thank you. You can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Peter and Dharma and Andika, not here in person.
Are you in Bali now?
No, in Norway. And
Norway.
I give thanks. I give thanks for being here, exactly, and being close to family. I'm thankful for that, and I'm thankful for being in this apartment with a friend. And we both remember lives as Rinpoches in Tibet. So I just love the tanka behind you because, yeah, well, after coming here, I even remember the years I lived. It's about 200 years ago, and other details of that life. And it's amazing to be in spiritual Bali and pick up all that energy and then come home and it blossoms. So it's like, yeah, grateful for that and thankful for this day. Yeah, so thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Meditation.
Thank you, Steiner, and thank you for, you know, incarnating, the Rinpoche incarnating in your present form, you know. And some people are interested in this tanka, that's Padma Sambhava, going into the rainbow body. In other words, Padma Sambhava, who was a great yogi, attaining the ascension, they call it the rainbow body. But it gives me great inspiration. And I meditate in front of it every day. So maybe we knew each other in Tibet.
Maybe indeed, Peter. Maybe that's why we reconnected.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steiner. There's somebody else.
Thank you so much. Mariana?
Thank you, Peter, and thank you, Dharma. and thank you. I always looking forward to these meetings. I'm very grateful, and somehow I'm also feeling gratefulness that there is not any cause or any event or gathering without a cause. So somehow, somewhere, maybe we all caused this moment to be together and have meditations together. It's wonderful, and maybe I've done something good in the past that I can be with you all. There was something that I heard about a few days ago. I have a friend of who is a follower of Sai Baba, and I was reading today Peter's book about how Peter met Sai Baba. And a friend of mine, she told me that actually, I don't know if it's true, but I'm thankful. I'm very happy. She said that Sai Baba would have already been born, and I was very happy to hear about that, but I'm not sure if that's, but so she told. And they had some birthday celebration on November because of Sai Baba. But I just want to say thank you to all of you.
Thank you, Marjana. It's nice to think of you there in Finland, you know, because I don't know any other people there. I used to think of nothing in Finland but reindeer walking around. Maybe that's where Santa Claus lives, you know, and now I know you're there. So you're doing good work. I can feel it. Just your presence there is sending light out to that part of the world, you know. So thank you.
So much.
Yeah. Okay. We have somebody else who'd like to say something.
Hello. Thank you. I'm so grateful to be here, and I'm so grateful to Peter, to Dharma, to Anika for what you all do to bring us together and create this community, which has become so important. That I feel the love, and I feel the support. I feel the presence of the masters. I am so grateful, Peter, for the I Am teachings, which have really changed my life and opened me up to a new, to something completely new. I'm grateful for my surroundings, for the earth, for my labyrinth, for a healthy family. They're just so many things that I feel blessed for. And tomorrow is my birthday.
Oh, happy
And
birthday.
thank you. And I really feel, I recently was on a retreat, and I really feel that I am going to be born again, that I have the opportunity to wake up and let go, to be healed of so many things that I've been carrying that just don't serve me at all. And in doing that, I can be more in service to others and be fulfill my purpose here more. So I'm grateful for all of those things. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you for sharing, Catherine. That's very beautiful.
Thank you so much. I can feel your beautiful heart. Travis. Hi.
Hi, how are you? I'm so blessed to be here. I was a little late, so I missed a little of the meditation, but I just wanted to say hi, Peter. Hi, everybody. I feel so grateful to be here. Do you feel like that is the most important, is to feel and embody, you know, God within every moment? To embody this sort of gratitude and appreciation for all things as if we are all things? Is that kind of the secret?
Thank you for sharing, Travis. That's a very good question. I had a talk with someone a few days ago who said, you know, I've been following your teachings for a year, and I still haven't seen any blazing light in my chest, and I don't feel a lot of divine love, you know? And I'm thinking, well, it took me years and years and years to get somewhere. And, you know, everyone has to start somewhere, and you never know what the next step is really going to be. So we give gratitude for all the teachings and the teachers out there, but they are only steps along the path. You kind of have to make it your own. But, you know, to be in the moment and acknowledge everything that the moment has to offer you, I think is very large part of the path. I mean, especially at the time we're in now, it doesn't, not a lot of people can go off to a cave and, you know, meditate for 20 years or something. So to trust that you are where you're meant to be, you know, you might get guidance to be somewhere else, but wherever you are, it's like to be real with yourself, you know, and to look at yourself, like, who am I? There's a practice where you observe yourself in relationship to others, not just me, you know, how can I be happier? How can I have more light? How am I affecting the people around me? Am I getting any kind of messages from them? So to really be honest with yourself and to look within and ask, you know, what do I need to work on? Can I be a better person? Can I be more compassionate? Is there something I need to work on within myself? It's not just, oh, I'm going to manifest as much light as I possibly can. It's also, you know, being a real human being, like what in Judaism, you know, or Hebrew call being a mensch, you know, be a real man or a real woman, you know, to be, you know, like naked in a sense, spiritually, emotionally vulnerable, and to examine that self, you know, and to look at what might be called the flaws or shortcomings or things like that, and say, well, here's something I can work on. Next time I'm in this situation, I can handle it differently. You know, I think, I mean, at some point, the psychology and spirituality merge. It's not just I'm going to do this intense breathing exercise, raise my kundalini, and then I'm going to be able to sit out in the snow and not get cold, you know, and I'm going to be in this transcendental consciousness. It's also, I'm here as a human to relate with other people. How do I get along with others? And, you know, is there something I need to look at in myself? Is there some wound from childhood that I need to heal? I hope that answers a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
nobody can really do it for you. Teacher can't do it. Therapist can't do it. They're all just, you know, pointing the way, and the way is in here, you know.
it reminds me of the chapter in your book or in your life handbook, when you became a landlord for a while.
Oh yeah.
That was you having to,
right,
you know, learn some lessons.
Yeah, I mean, I've been traveling around India for a couple of years, living with amazing beings in the Himalayas. You know, one guy I lived with had met Babaji in the physical body, and somehow I got sent back to the United States to be more like sort of normal person. And I thought I came to Mount Shasta to ascend, you know, and it wasn't happening. And my teacher, Pearl, said, why don't you ask if there's something they want you to do? And then these masters appeared to me one night. I climbed up on Mount Shasta and I spent the night there. And they said, we want you to get into real estate. I thought they meant that was like, you know, reality, not actual business of real estate, but they meant the actual business. And boy, that's where I really got grounded, to ground the spirituality and, you know, learn to be real, you know, to keep my word and to be responsible and to learn to say no. The big lesson was to be able to set a boundary, to say no and, mean it, but without anger. These are all tremendous lessons. And those could not be learned in an ascended master retreat. They had to be learned in business, in daily life. So relationship is a great place to learn a lot of lessons, So thank you for sharing, Travis. I'm grateful for your presence here.
Thank you as well.
Where are you coming from? Where are you right now?
I'm from Maine.
Maine. Oh, good.
Yeah, I got a nice view of the sun back here.
Beautiful. Right.
I hope to keep coming to these and being part of this amazing community.
Thank you, Travis. We'll see you
Bless
next
you.
time.
And next, I'll ask Thomas.
Hi, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. I just wanted to express my gratitude to Peter for so many things, really. But I think one of the main things for me was his ability to make the I am presence so real to us. It's one thing to read and study, which my wife Christine and I have done for years. And what I found in reading Peter's book, and especially in the recounting of his experiences where he encountered the I am presence directly, and the spontaneity of that, and the I guess the way that Peter presents all of his experiences so realistically and just so openly helped me to understand the reality. So when he encountered the I am presence and he said, well, why are you doing this to me? When he was feeling very hot and it had been a rather, startling experience, to say the least, thinking that there was going to be an airliner crashing into the house. But the way that was brought forth, and when the answer came back to, I want to show you the reality of my existence and that I can do anything. And that really opened me up to realizing, I needed to be more in touch directly with my own I am presence, because realizing that the I am presence can do anything helped me to, I guess you could say, redouble my efforts in all of that. So I want to thank Peter for that, and just for making these teachings so accessible. The Zoom sessions, the meditations, I find make it so much easier. And it may be partly because we're all on this together, but when Peter's guiding us through these meditations, it becomes so available and so much easier to do the visualization and to experience what he's describing. So that, and then I did want to thank everyone also for each of you that tune into these. I think it really creates a not just a virtual community, but an actual community that people can connect with. So I just wanted to thank Peter for making all of that possible.
Thank you, Thomas. And I'd like to thank you and Christine for all the work you've been doing, editing my talks and my books. Hi, Christine. We both moved down here to Mount Shasta. That was very brave of you. So, thank you for the selfless service you've been doing, and I appreciate it very much.
It's an honor.
Well, it's our pleasure and honor, yes.
My gratitude to all of you for your selflessness and every kindness that comes out from your heart to anybody, for coming here, being all together, sharing your love and light and energy, and contributing to the rising of the vibrations of the earth. And also deep gratitude for Peter, his teachings, his selflessness, and his open heart.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Dharma.
Thank you.
And grateful for you and all that you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you all. It's just been a wonderful Thanksgiving for me. And may all our hearts be open and sending and receiving love throughout the coming year. So thank you. See you next time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Namaste.